Dear students, through this video class, I am going to make you know regarding the external forces of the Earth's crust. In the previous video, that is on lithosphere part 2, through that particular video, I tried to make you understand regarding the rocks and the internal forces of the Earth's crust. But through this video, you will be knowing about the external forces of the Earth's crust. As we have already learned regarding the Earth's crust, of course, the forces of the Earth's crust. Forces of the Earth's crust are of two kinds. The forces of the Earth's crust are of two kinds. They can be classified into two types. One as external forces. External forces, and the second one as internal forces. We have already discussed about the internal forces. The internal forces can be regarded as endogenic forces. Endogenic forces. That is the sense. The forces which are present inside the earth or in the different layers of the earth. Say they are maybe earthquake and volcanoes. These are the two major internal forces of the Earth's crust. Say, as these internal forces are the earthquakes or volcanoes, result in some kind of changes in the structure as well as on the surface of the earth. Similarly, the external forces, which also can be called as exogenic forces. Exogenic forces or external forces. They result in the changing of the topography or changing of the physical features on the surface of the earth. The external forces such as temperature, winds, rainfall, snowfall, rivers, glaciers, underground water, sea waves, etc. All these appear on the surface of the earth. Temperature, along with that we can regard humidity, temperature, winds, rainfall, snowfall, rivers, glaciers, the underground water probably which is found inside the earth, that also results in some kind of changes on the surface of the earth. Sea waves, these kind of forces bring some major changes on the surface of the earth. That is the sense. The relief features or the surface of the earth goes on changing as the time passes due to some kind of such kind of aspects or forces. The surface of the earth will be always go on changing. Change is the law of nature. Say, the areas which are hilly, mountainous, or say higher lands, they may be reduced to the plain lands or flat lands or low-lying areas because of the winds, rainfall, say temperature, glaciers, etc. Say whatever the surface features or the physical features we see on the earth, it must not have been like this before 10,000 years ago, or it must not have been millions of years ago. And whatever we see at present, it may not be like this after another 10,000 years or millions of years. So the change goes on taking place. It will be the surface or the outer part of the earth will be always under the process of changing. So what caused these changes on the surface of the earth? It may be due to the external forces such as these temperature, winds, rainfall, snowfall, rivers, glaciers, underground water, sea waves, etc. Or may be due to the internal forces such as the volcanoes, earthquakes, etc. See what happened, what would be the major kind of activities that take place in the process of changing? The major activities are withering takes place. Withering, denudation, or say another kind of process, that is erosion, transportation, deposition. Such kind of activities take place because of these kind of sources. Withering, denudation, erosion, transportation, deposition are some kind of the activities or processes which are caused by the agents like the temperature, winds, rivers, glaciers, earthquakes, volcanoes, all these. Still many more. Say the major terms like withering and denudation, I am supposed to make you know. Withering is such kind of process. Withering is nothing but the disintegration of the rock. Gradual disintegration or slow disintegration of the rock. The huge block of rock, it breaks down due to the sunlight, that may be because of temperature, or due to the humidity, rainfall, wind, etc. It breaks into smaller pieces. That kind of process, the breaking down of the rock, is called withering. The gradual breaking down, say a huge block of rock breaks into smaller pieces. It does not break all of a sudden. It does not break overnight. It takes a very long period. So in a very long span of time, the rock breaks down into smaller pieces. Then it may be reduced to very smaller pieces like of a jelly or say small pebbles. So in what ways the withering takes place? Withering, the process of withering can be of three kinds. It may be a mechanical withering or physical withering, chemical withering, or biological withering. The withering can be of three kinds. One is physical or say mechanical withering. Mechanical withering. Another process of withering is due to some chemicals, which we call as chemical withering. Chemical withering. And another type of withering takes place due to the activities of some animals and plants, which we call it as biological withering. Biological withering. Say these are the three types of withering, or on the basis of the process of withering, we can classify the process of withering in these ways: physical withering, chemical withering, and biological withering. Say the chemical withering, biological withering, and the mechanical withering. Through these kinds, the disintegration of the rocks takes place. Breaking down of the rocks takes place. See, what is called a mechanical withering or physical withering? Say if the rocks break down physically, if the physical rock breaks down due to the temperature or rainfall without any reaction of the chemicals, is called physical or mechanical withering. So the sunlight, because of the sunlight, we will be having temperature. So the stone becomes hot. Due to the excessive temperature, the blocks of rocks may develop some cracks. So over a longer period of time, the rock may break into two, and those two pieces may again break into some other smaller pieces. So in that physical withering or physical breaking down of rocks, chemical reaction or any there won't be any change in the composition of the rocks. There won't be any kind of change in the composition of the rocks. So such kind of withering is said to be physical withering or mechanical withering. Say mechanical withering, the important processes what take place through the mechanical withering they are granular disintegration, block disintegration, and exfoliation. They are the different processes, the stages of disintegration. That in the sense, bigger rock, a huge block of rock breaking into smaller pieces, and those smaller pieces again breaking into very smaller pieces. Say in the first or the second part of this lesson, in those videos, I told you the soil is formed through this kind of process. Soil, what we have on the surface of the earth, it has been formed through a very long process of withering. Maybe due to any kind of these, maybe due to physical, chemical or biological withering. Say rocks have been disintegrated and they have been formed into different soils. We have the different kinds of soils on the earth because they have been formed by the different mother rocks, different original rocks, base rocks. Say chemical withering. Chemical withering is such kind of disintegration of the rocks in which the chemical reaction takes place. Chemical reaction, of course, the chemicals which are present in the rocks get reacted with the different kind of gases, say with oxygen, carbon dioxide, or with rainwater. The substances or the chemicals present in the rocks react, so the rock disintegrates. The most simple example I would like to tell you, just take a limestone or burned sand. Say the lime is created if you just pour the water on the burned huge block of sand. That burnt piece of sand, it breaks into smaller pieces due to the reaction. When the water is added to that, the limestone, say which is calcium carbonate, chemically it is called calcium carbonate. The calcium carbonate reacts with the carbon dioxide present in the water and it becomes calcium bicarbonate. So that disintegrates. So such kind, due to the reaction of the chemicals with the other chemicals added to that by the agents of water, that means rainwater, or due to oxygen, carbon dioxide, etc. So such kind of withering takes place or breaking down of the rocks takes place, which we call it as a chemical withering. Chemical withering is of four kinds. Maybe oxidation, carbonation, hydration, and solution. So through any of these ways, the chemical withering takes place. That in the sense, the rocks breaking into smaller pieces. And the biological withering is such a kind of change in the disintegration of the rocks that is due to the activities of the animals, plants. Say what? The plants which grow on the surface of the land or on the earth, their roots go deep into the earth. Their roots go very deep into the earth's crust. So they go on penetrating the solids. Even the rock can be penetrated. The rock can be cut, or say cracks may be developed due to the force that the roots go deeper as the tree grows up. So this kind of act of the plants as well as animals like the earthworms, rats, fox, deer, etc. They make some holes in the ground. Those holes are the cutting of the surface of the earth by these animals, burrowing animals. They make their shelters inside the earth by digging or by cutting the land or maybe any kind of solids, maybe even the soft stones, etc. So the withering takes place, and the activities of the human beings like mining, underground mining, deep underground mining, cultivation of the land, or say undertaking the constructive activities, maybe building of the bridges, roads, etc. We change the surface of the feature, or the rocks disintegrate or break down. So that result in some kind of changes on the surface of the earth. So that is what withering. Withering is one of the most important processes that bring the changes on the relief features. Relief features, I repeatedly tell you, relief features are nothing but the physical features of the earth. The physical features get on changing. They go on changing due to these kind of activities. And another important process, that is denudation. Denudation is what, or it is quite similar to the withering. Denudation is yes, the process of denudation is nothing but the changing of the landscape by the agents of winds, rainfall, glaciers, sea waves, underground water, etc. So the change of the landscape or the relief features go on changing due to these external forces, which we call it as denudation. Say the major agents of denudation are rivers, glaciers, underground water, sea waves, wind. These are the different agents or the forces which result in the process of changing the landscape, which is called denudation. Say how the rivers and other agents like glaciers, underground water, sea waves, winds, they cause in the process of changing the landscape. Let us discuss about the rivers. I suppose you the students must have seen one or the other river. What does a river mean? How does river originate and flow, and what kind of, especially what kind of denudation activities that are taking place by the rivers? Say what can be called a river? probably you must have heard number of names of the rivers. River Ganga, Yamuna, Krishna, Godavari, Narmada, Kaveri, Tapati, etc. See, these are the major rivers of our country. What is the river? River is, it is a mass of fresh water flowing from source to the mouth, flowing from a particular place of origin to a particular place where it joins either sea or ocean. For example, in South India, say the major river is River Krishna. River Krishna, which originates somewhere in Maharashtra in the Western Ghats, flow eastwards and join Bay of Bengal in Andhra Pradesh. See, the river Krishna originates somewhere in Mahabaleshwar and joins the Bay of Bengal somewhere in the eastern coast. This place is called source or origin of the river or origin place, and the place where a particular river joins a sea or ocean is called mouth of river. Say, the fresh water or the rain water which flows in a particular course, in a particular path from its source till the mouth, that course or that path of river is called, of course, that path of water or the passage of water is called a river. The water usually flows down from the higher areas towards the lower areas. As the river flows from the higher areas towards the lower regions or lower areas, the river or the water of the river, it does the work of erosion, transportation and deposition. The work of river as regards to the derivation is erosion, transportation and deposition. See, through these three kinds of activities, the rivers change the landscape, change the relief features on the earth. See, on the basis of the work of the denudation work or erosional, transportational and depositional work of the river can be divided into three stages. As, of course, just think that there is a river which is flowing in a particular direction or in a particular passage. Say this is the mouth of the river. Yes, the rivers on the basis of their work, say maybe erosion, transportation or deposition, the rivers can be, any river can be divided into three stages. As upper stage, the one stage, the beginning stage of the river is called upper stage. Upper level or upper stage, and the middle stage of the river is called middle stage, which is near the seas or ocean is called the lower level or lower stage. Lower stage or the level of the river. Say in these three stages, the river can be divided as upper stage, middle stage, lower stage. Say in the upper stage, the major denudation activity of the river is mainly here the rivers erode the rocks, soil, etc. Erosion is the major activity of the river in the upper stage. Here in the upper stage, say in the upper stage the rivers will be fast flowing and the volume of the water will be less, and the major landforms formed in the upper stages of the river are gorges, V-shaped valleys, U-shaped valleys, waterfalls. Such kind of landforms are formed. They in the upper stage, the rivers must have originated somewhere in the highlands and they flow towards the lower regions. Say, while flowing, the river carries or river cuts or erodes a lot of things. The rocks, soils, debris, etc. will be carried by the rivers. There the rivers will be in the form of rapids. Say usually such kind of stage of the river will be called as a rapid, the fast flowing stage of the river. Say the second stage of the river is the middle stage or the middle level. There the major denudational activity of the river will be transportation. It transports all the things or the materials, whatever it erodes in the upper stage. There we see some tributaries coming and joining the major river. Some tributaries may join the rivers. Tributaries are the smaller rivers which join the main river. Say, in this middle stage of the river, the amount of the water, volume of the water will be more as so many tributaries join them. The flow of the water will not be so fast comparing to the upper stage. The water will be flows with moderate speed. The major landforms formed in the middle stage of the river are alluvial banks, meadows, meanders, say different kinds of other landforms are created. Say in the lower stage, say that is the third stage of the river, which is quite closer to the seas or oceans. There the rivers flow quite slowly. There the river flows through the plains. Say there the volume of the water will be quite huge. The major denudation activity that takes place in the lower stage of the river is deposition. Here in the upper stage, the erosional activity, and in the middle stage it will be the transportation, and in the lower stage it will be deposition. What does it deposit? It deposits all the things which are carried in the upper stage and transported through the middle stage, and the deposition takes place. It deposits the soil, rocks, debris, etc. So there the major landforms formed are the floodplains, levees, oxbow lakes, deltas, etc. Delta is a major landform which is formed in the lower stage or in the lower level of the river. So the river is a major agent of changing the landscape of the earth. The work of river, such kind of work, the work called erosion, transportation and deposition. The work of river in general called fluvial cycle. Fluvial cycle. The erosional, transportational, depositional work all together. The work of, in total, the work of river is called fluvial cycle. So this is one of the major agents of denudation. The other important agent of the changing of the landscape is glacier. I suppose the glacier is another most important agent of the denudation. The glacier, ಹಿಮನದಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. ಹಿಮನದಿಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾವೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬೆಟ್ಟ ಪ್ರದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ಎತ್ತರವಾದಂತಹ ಪರ್ವತ ಶ್ರೇಣಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಧ್ರುವ ಪ್ರದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವು. So these glaciers are the other most important agent of changing the landscape. What does glacier mean? A glacier is a slowly moving compacted mass of ice and snow found on the slopes of the mountains as well as in the polar regions. The glaciers move from the higher regions towards the lower regions due to the weight of the ice and snow or due to the gravitational force from the lower regions. So the huge mass of ice and snow starts moving like a river. So this kind of water body results in the change of the landscape. Say, the major types of glaciers are the continental glaciers. Of course, glaciers can be divided into two types. There are two kinds of glaciers. One is continental glaciers. Continental glacier. And the second one is mountain glacier. Mountain glacier can also be called as valley glacier or alpine glacier. Alpine glacier. The mountain type of glaciers are also called alpine type of glaciers because of the name after the Alp mountains in Europe. So these are the two types of glaciers, mountain glaciers and continental glaciers. The glaciers perform the work of denudation. The denudational works, that in the sense the work of changing the landscape. The denudational work of the glacier is, of course, erosion, transportation and deposition. These denudational works means changing the landscape is done by the glacier. Say, the surface features of the earth wherever the glaciers are present or along with the glaciers, the relief features of the land change. as the rivers change the relief features. Similarly, the glaciers also cause in the change of the landscape or the relief features or topography. The major landforms formed by the erosional work of the glaciers are, say, the glaciers do the denudational work of erosion, transportation, and deposition. See, these processes or activities result in the change of the landscape. The landforms formed by the erosion, the major landforms formed by the erosional work of the glaciers are Kirk, Hall, Erete, U-shaped valleys, hanging valleys, and rock steps. I repeat, the different kinds of landforms are formed by the erosional work of the glaciers are Sirk, Horn, Erete, U-shaped valleys, hanging valleys, and rock steps. Similarly, due to the depositional work, of course, by the glaciers, transportation and deposition go hand in hand. Of course, simultaneously at some particular place, the glaciers may erode and they go on transporting the eroded materials, and while they go on transporting, they may deposit some of the debris, means rock debris, along its course. So, the landforms formed by the transportation as well as the deposition are moraines. The major landforms are moraines, drumlins, eskers, outwash plains, still plains, kamis. Such kind of different kinds of landforms are formed by the depositional work of the glaciers. The major landform formed by the glaciers through these activities, through the activities of transportation and deposition, are moraines. Moraines are such kind of landforms which are found along the glaciers. Say we see the deposition of the debris on the both the sides as well as on the floor of the glaciers. Along the course of the glacier, we see huge deposition of the debris, rock debris, which are carried by the glaciers. Such kind of moraines are quite common in the glaciers. The moraines are of four types. Such kind of moraines, the landforms formed by the glaciers, are of four types. The four kinds of the moraines are lateral moraines, medial moraines, ground moraines, and terminal moraines. Lateral moraines are such kind of moraines on the glacier, on the both the sides of the glaciers we find the rock debris. Medial moraines is such kind of region where two lateral moraines meet. Ground moraines, say at the floor or the bottom of the glacier, we find the vast deposition of the debris, rock debris. And terminal moraines are the regions where the moraines meet the sea or ocean, or say any river. say such kind of moraines are found. See, usually the glaciers are found on the tall mountains. Say in the mountainous regions, the Himalayan ranges are quite known for the glaciers, and Alpine mountains, Ural mountains, Andes mountains. So in all these tall mountains are the highest ranges of the mountains of the world. We find such kind of mountain or valley glaciers. Continental glaciers are found on the polar regions, say in northern pole as well as in the southern pole. So along the coast of Arctic Ocean in the North Pole and in the Antarctic continent in the South Pole. So the glaciers, like the rivers, cause the change in the landscape. Similarly, another major agent of the degradation is underground water. I suppose you must have been known that the water is stored inside the earth, underground water. How the water is stored or deposited in the different layers of the earth? See, I have discussed about that. The crust of the earth is made up with so many crustal rocks, huge slabs of rocks we find in the crust. So these huge slabs of rocks, some of them are pervious rocks or porous rocks, and some of such kind of rocks are impervious or non-porous rocks. Pervious or porous rocks. Pervious or porous rocks, in the sense the rocks which let the water to pass through them, means the such kind of rocks who have formed the holes naturally, they let the water to pass through them, or the water percolates through such kind of rocks. Percolates in the sense the water goes through the rocks to the lower levels or to the other lower levels. Such kind of rocks help in the formation of the underground water. Say, suppose there is of course huge slabs of rocks in the crust. These slabs of rocks, say when the rain water falls on the surface of the ground, some amount of the water percolates in the ground and it reaches, of course the soil becomes wet, the top soil becomes wet, and if the water is stored in the lakes, reservoirs, ponds, etc., or the water from the rivers or the oceans, seas, that water starts percolating, means it starts going into the rocks. It goes down through the such kind of rocks which have some minute holes, natural minute holes, which let the water to pass through them. So such kind of rocks which allow the water to pass through them are called porous rocks or pervious rocks. And the rocks which have large amount of water, the rocks which have large amount of water are called aquiferous rocks. Say due to these, a kind of water body is formed inside the crust or inside the different levels of crust. So this underground water plays a work of denudation. Don't think that what all the slabs of the rocks we have in the crust are all porous rocks. There are so many non-porous rocks too, impervious rocks too. They do not let the water to pass through them. Such kind of rocks are in large number in the crust. Say they do not allow the water to percolate or seepage. But the water goes down into the crust through the particular rocks called pervious rocks. ನೀರನ್ನ ತಮ್ಮ ಮೂಲಕ ಹಾದು ಬಿಡತಕ್ಕಂತ ಕಲ್ಲುಗಳಿವೆ. ಅಂತ ಕಲ್ಲುಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ನೀರು ಹಾದು ಹೋಗಿ ಈ ಕ್ರಸ್ಟಿನ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಪದರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇಕರಿಸಲ್ಪಡುತ್ತೆ. So that water, what we call as underground water, ಅಂತರ್ಜಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So this underground water, say think that there is a huge body of underground water from which usually we make a hole and pump out the water from the underground water through the borewells, etc. Say, or wells are created or borewells are created. Say, the underground water which is formed in the crust, it plays a work of, or it does the work of erosion, transportation and deposition. So that results in a kind of change in the landscape. How? Say, at some places the water comes out itself. The underground water comes out naturally without pumping it out. Wherever the underground water is stored in large quantity, naturally that starts coming out. So which we call as a spring. Springs or spring. So you must have heard about artesian wells, geysers, hot springs, such kind of springs. A spring is such kind of water body where the underground water comes out naturally. So these springs play a role in the changing of the landscape. The surface features get changed. So there are different kinds of springs. The kinds of the springs are perennial springs, intermittent springs, hot springs, geysers and artesian wells. Say the different kinds of the springs are perennial springs. Perennial springs, intermittent springs, hot springs, geysers and artesian wells. Artesian wells are some of the major types of springs. So these springs cause the change in the landscape. Perennial springs are the springs through which the water comes out constantly, continuously. Intermittent springs are such kind of springs through which the water comes out periodically or intermittently. No, but not continuous. Intermittently, frequently, or very oftenly. And hot springs. Intermittent springs are also called periodic springs. The hot springs are the such kind of springs where the hot water, warm water comes out naturally. At some places the hot water comes out naturally. Usually such kind of hot springs are found near the volcanic regions. Hot springs are also called thermal springs. And geysers. You probably must be knowing that geyser. So you must be familiar with the geyser, what we will be installing in our bathrooms for heating the water. Say gas geysers or electrical geysers. But it is not that. This geyser is a kind of spring. A kind of spring where the hot water comes out in the form of a fountain, in the form of a jet. Of course, the water, underground water itself comes out itself like a fountain. ಕಾರಂಜಿ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರು ತಾನೇ ಚಿಮಿಚಿಮಿ ಬರುತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇವುಗಳಿಗೆ ಕಾರಂಜಿ, ಸ್ವಾಭಾವಿಕ ಕಾರಂಜಿಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So such kind of spring is called geyser. Say the most famous geyser is Old Faithful geyser in the Yellowstone National Park of USA. Old Faithful, the name of that geyser or that kind of spring is Old Faithful in Yellowstone National Park of United Nations, of course United States of America. And artesian wells. Artesian wells are quite common in Australia. So artesian wells are such kind of wells when the underground water, so think that underground water is deposited between the impervious rocks. The underground water, if it does not comes out itself, if it does not comes out naturally, then an artificial hole is made to reach the underground water, and the underground water starts coming out itself or naturally without pumping it, without making use of any pumps or motors, etc. In borewells and all these things, the water is pumped. Water is pumped upwards or out of the ground through a particular pump, a particular motor which helps in pumping out the water. But artesian wells, just a hole is cut, a tube well is made. Of course, a hole is cut through which water comes out itself. Such kind of springs are called artesian wells. They are quite common in Australia. So these types of springs play an important role in changing the landscape, changing the relief features of the earth. The other important agent of the degradation or changing the landscape is wind. I suppose you must have known how the winds result in the change of the topography. I suppose the students must be knowing what does wind mean. Wind is nothing but the horizontal movement of air from one place to another place. Say usually the air moves from higher pressure areas towards the low pressure areas. Say when the wind moves, when the wind blows from or moves from one place to another place, sometimes the wind moves gently, sometimes it moves very roughly, causing the destruction on its path. So you must have heard about cyclones, anticyclones, etc. So these winds cause in the change of the surface of the land. Of course, the denudation work of the wind are quite common in the arid regions, means in the desert regions. In the deserts, the winds change the landscape very frequently. The surface of the deserts or the sand is carried away by the rough wind. It carried away, and when the speed of the wind lessens, decreases, when the force of the speed of the wind decreases, so the sand which is being carried by the wind, it starts falling on the surface. So the sand or the soil which will be carried from thousands of kilometers distance, it will be taken away. It will be taken away to a very far distance, and when the speed and the force of the wind lessens, say the sand or the soil starts falling, and it forms some different kind of landforms. So as I said you, the winds result in changing the landscape in the deserts. The landscape goes on changing always there in the desert regions due to the winds. The landforms formed by the erosional work of the winds. Of course, the depredational work of the wind are again erosion, transportation and deposition. Due to the erosional work of the wind, what kind of landforms are formed? Say rock pedestals, mushroom rocks, inselberg, such kind of landforms are formed. And due to the deposition of the soil or sand, or by the depositional work of the wind, other kinds of landforms are formed. They are mainly sand dunes, barchans and loess. Just keep in mind about these things. The sand dunes, barchans and loess. Such kind of landforms which are formed on the surface of the earth by the depositional work of the wind are quite common in the desert regions. Say barchans are such kind of semicircular heaps of the soils are found. Semicircular heaps of the soils are found on the deserts. Say the sand or soil gets deposited in the form of layers. Say in that way, some kind of as if you see the waves on the water or on the sea or ocean, such kind of layers of the sand or soil is formed by the depositional work of the winds, which are called as the barchans. And layers are such kind of regions where the soil has been carried over a distant place, and it has scattered that sand or soil over another particular topography or landform. So such kind of landforms are quite common in the desert regions. So the winds, and similarly another major agent of the denudation is sea waves. The sea waves, the tides waves of the sea also cause the denudational work, or they also change the landscape. The sea waves are the tides. They change the coastal regions. They change the places or the regions where the sea or ocean meets the land. So you must have heard about ಕಡಲು ಕೊರೆತ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸಮುದ್ರ ಕೊರೆತ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸಮುದ್ರದ ದಂಡೆಗುಂಟ ಅನೇಕ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂಥ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಭೂಭಾಗಗಳು ರಚಿಸಲ್ಪಟ್ಟಿರ್ತವೆ. ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ probably you must have been not familiar with that. Say, you must be knowing that the shape of the southern India is a peninsula. Say, here we have a kind of gulf. So this is Gulf of Kambat, this is Gulf of Kutch. Why such kind of shape or why such kind of gulf has been formed? Because it is because of the cutting of the sea waves. The sea waves in the span of thousands of years, the sea waves have hit constantly the coast and the loosened soil has been eroded towards the sea or ocean. So that is why the shape, that this peninsular shape of our India is because of the sea waves. And whatever the coasts you take on the earth, they all are formed because of the erosional work or denudational work of the sea waves. Along with the coast, you can see number of different landforms like beaches, lagoons, cliffs, sea caves, sea arches, sea stalks. These are the major landforms formed by the sea waves. So these are all what the major external forces which result in the changing the landscape of the earth. So I suppose you have understood the aspect. In this entire lesson we have discussed about the structure of the earth, the crust, mantle, core, and about the rocks and internal as well as external forces of the earth's crust. The internal forces are the earthquakes, volcanoes, and the external forces are these rivers, glaciers, underground water, sea waves, and wind, and about temperature, rainfall, snowfall, and all these things we will be having the discussion in the particular video class. Thank you.